In this episode, we meet this guy, that die, these two competitors, a guy in a big costume, a couple of hostages, and people dancing. That's right, it's all in this episode of PAX Prime in 15 minutes. Welcome to PAX Prime 2006. I'm in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. Actually, I'm in my office recording this video in the present day. But in order for this to work, I'm going to need you to believe that I'm there right now, perhaps through a wormhole, or maybe it has something to do with a dream. Either way, welcome to PAX. Over there to my right is the 1UP booth. They were taking people's pictures and giving them 1UP ID cards. I suspect it has something to do with the NSA spying program. But they went out of business before I could break that story wide open. Rest in peace, 1UP. Now that we've poured one out for 1UP, let's hit the convention floor. This is where we'll find most of the booths, as well as the game demos. It's worth noting that very few major publishers showed up to PAX back in 2006, so we'll see a lot of smaller players in the industry. Maybe we'll even recognize a few people along the way. Right off the bat, we have Foundation 9, who is only days away from buying Shiny Entertainment at this point. They were showing off their new Sonic the Hedgehog game on PSP, as well as Death Jr., which my award-winning camera work is clearly picking up. Moving on, we see Rayman in the distance, and a large gentleman in a black shirt hogging the shot. Over there, we see a group of eager men in white. I don't think I need to explain why that's bad news. So let's make a hasty exit and find another company to explore. Hey, it's that guy. What's his name? And he's standing next to a bunch of Nintendo DS's. This was the full Nintendo booth. They didn't show off the Wii at PAX 2006. They were showing off Final Fantasy III, which was finally getting its long overdue release in the United States. They were also showing off Final Fantasy V, but I decided not to stand and film the DS screen. As I circle around the booth, we'll see a collection of DS games, and that's about it. Off to the left was Rockstar's booth. Blink and you'll miss it. They only came with Rockstar Games Presents Table Tennis. I think showgoers were hoping to see Bully or Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Microsoft was the other major publisher at PAX 2006. They came with Geometry Wars, this open-world game, a role-playing game I believe is Enchanted Arms, and this new Splinter Cell game. Despite being a year old, Geometry Wars ended up being a big draw at the event. Now before you ask, yes, the overhead lights are flashing. Maybe a Terminator was traveling through time at that very moment, or these games, consoles, computers, and televisions were just a little bit more than the Bellevue Convention Center could take. At one point, the lights went out completely. Most of the games stayed on, but the lights completely failed. Moving away from the publishers, we see Red vs. Blue pitching their Halo-inspired t-shirts and DVDs. Here we see several people playing card games on the floor. A few minutes later, they were kicked out of that choice spot. And as I take a moment to look around, I notice a wasteland of outdated PC products. But I'm not here to blow people's minds of the invention of the Oculus Rift. I'm merely here to observe. Either way, I think it's pretty clear that Guild Wars is putting on a pretty big show at PAX 2006. As we near the America's Army booth, I want to make a special note of the extremely sharp edge on this Hummer. You come around that corner too quickly and that's going to cut right through you like Kung Lao's hat. That's going to leave a mark, people. Here's a good overview of the PAX 2006 main hall layout. In the distance is Nintendo, and off to the side is Clay Entertainment. We'll come back to Clay in a moment. As you can tell, the main hall isn't very large. It definitely wouldn't fit 60,000 people. So here's a booth you'll no doubt recognize. It's the Behemoth, makers of Alien Hominid. Back in 2006, they were showing off their long-awaited next game, Castle Crashers. As it turns out, we would have to wait a little longer for this retro brawler. Castle Crashers didn't hit the Xbox Live Arcade until August 2008, almost exactly 2 years later. Up the escalators we go, away from the excitement of new games. Instead, we have these Konami arcade machines to play with. Sadly, these were just about the only arcade cabinets I could find. We have a couple of DDR machines and Drum Mania over there. For whatever reason, these games were always being played by people with stupid hats. Moving on to the 4th floor, we come face to face with the tournament rooms. Behind these doors are competitive gamers with something to prove. Here we are introduced to Sally and Garrett, who are about to fight it out in Guitar Hero 2. Garrett is the reigning champ after recently doubling another player's high score. His competition likes to practice with an air guitar. So let's watch these two duke it out at Guitar Hero 2. Okay, go ahead, play. You can do it. Okay, they're just choosing a song. We'll get there. I'm sorry, I really should have edited all this out. I'm sorry about that. They're not gonna play. See? I told you so. God, this is ridiculous. In the meantime, perhaps we should move on to somebody else. Like this guy. This is the Marsho Mech. See? Marsho Mech. He's gonna take a couple of swipes at us and pretend that he's a scary monster. He's from the game Eats, which is developed by Clay Entertainment. You may remember them as the company that went on to make Shank and Mark of the Ninja. For me, my love affair for the Vancouver-based company comes from Eats, which I first caught wind of at this PAX. And here we are back at the PC Gadget Wasteland, and there's Guild Wars, and I remember that guy. And wait a minute. Is that the America's Army Hummer? Oh my god, it's that sharp edge! What's going on here? This is some kind of deja vu or something. Hey look, Garrett and Sally are finally playing. At some point, we're gonna find out who wins this battle of the bands. Unfortunately, that won't be right now. Not before we take a look at Patrick, and look at these other competitors putting their all into it. I have no clue who won this battle. Okay, back to Garrett and Sally. Maybe it's because they're using those dinky Guitar Hero 2 guitars, but neither of them are rocking out sufficiently. Perhaps the tournament room needed an open bar. We'll let those two do their thing. While we wait, let me introduce you to this guy. Hey, how you doing? Huh, I don't think he can hear us over all of this noise.
Go ahead and roll.
Is that a 2 or a 20?
That's a 20.
That's a 20.
Okay, your basic quest is going to be for the brooch of shielding. Okay? The brooch of shielding is a pin in the shape of a heart that's about this big. It's gold. It's got kind of chains across it.
Okay.
It is not going to be in the drawers at the bottom. It's not in the shelves. And because you get the natural 20, I tell you exactly where it is.
Oh, so, good.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you have a minute. I don't know if you can do it. We may never see it again. Once more into the breach, dear friends. You might just feel like. You found it! Yay! Excellent. All right, so
Epic or
that was basic.
that was basic. Okay. So basic quest, then we would have you roll for your prize.
Ooh.
The epic quest you're going to go on is for the Wand of Cause Light Wounds. Okay? You see all the wands? Yes. It's going to be like that.
Sorry, I don't mean to.
Like a lot of them in there, or
There's 5 wands.
People are like so sleeked out.
am I looking for a specific color?
You are, but I can't tell you what it is with a roll of a 2.
So I just gotta grab all the wands and say which one is it.
Yeah, and you can hold it up to the little window here and say, is it this one? And I'll say yes or no.
So wait, what is it? What does the wand do?
Wand of Cause Light Wounds.
And you can
That's what we figured.
It causes light
It
wounds.
wouldn't be
Okay,
the white
so
as
it's probably not gonna be
the
white.
turn out today.
Good
But it
deduction.
just seems like everyone's just
All right. Okay.
chilling, taking their time.
1 minute?
1 minute. Okay. Go.
Oh, timing. It's timing. And that goes this way.
He's the only one who's actually kind of tried to deduce clues.
I know.
No.
How many times did you try yesterday?
One's determined by the metal stuff on
Or was
He
it?
went for the wand of lightning that time.
I probably knocked it down when I was.
Yeah, the.
Oh, no. It's
Yeah, no, the gold or the purple gem. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's got,
No.
Yeah, it's got this big purple.
no. That's 3.
I don't know. So he's got 10 seconds anyway.
Yes.
Whoa!
Just in time.
Go,
got
Pat!
1 second to go.
Yeah.
1 second.
Very good. Yeah, you found almost all the wands. So there was just the white one, which you had eliminated by deduction. Is
I
the
couldn't
one
see
you didn't
any
find.
color in there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
You won.
So now you get to roll for your prize.
And that was
And you
epic.
get a +5 for being epic.
Back at the Guitar Hero tournament, we see that this guy has eaten Garrett and Sally, and he's now on his way to victory. Oh. Whew. There's Garrett and Sally. Forget what I said. So these two have been playing for at least 3 hours. You can tell by their worn-out expressions. Look at those two go. The athleticism, the talent. This really is what you came for. There's nothing more exciting than watching two people at the top of their game play fake guitar. We don't even need to see the screen or know what song they're playing because you can see the electricity in the room. The way these two command the audience and take us for a ride, it's almost magical. Garrett told me that his powers come from his hideously small hands. And you know what? He does have hideously small hands. Oh, it's getting close. There's a camera nearby. Things are about to get real. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh! Garrett pulls it out and then goes for a truly awkward hug. Oh, did she not want to hug him? Celebrate now, Garrett, because you're about to get eliminated in the next round. Down the escalator, we find a bored convention worker, and wait, could it be? It is. It's the goat check. As the day wears on, these comfy beanbag chairs attract tired convention ears. I saw a surprising amount of people sleeping at the event, something I wouldn't do in public. Here we are, moseying around the lobby. Over there is the theater room. That's where a lot of the panel discussions take place. If you go back through Major Nelson's archive, you'll find my appearance on his podcast. That happened in that room. Uh-oh, PAX Prime will not cover your PlayStation 2 needs. Guess that's what Sony gets for not showing up. No, these two are not hostages. They're just attempting to find out who's better at Soul Calibur. While blindfolded. You can see the people around trying to help out, but the match quickly turns into button-mashing chaos. Later they tested their Tony Hawk's Pro Skater chops while getting waterboarded. Hey, there's a ball! But nobody's gonna retrieve it. Here we have the line for the Omegathon 3, which officially brought PAX 2006 to an end. This is, I would say, a 4 or maybe 5 hour line. It's long and there's a whole lot of waiting. The Omegathon itself, maybe 10 minutes. Boredom be damned, these Penny Arcade fans found ways of making time fly, or something like that. Actually, I don't know. We got in early because we're a part of the press. Sorry. Once inside, the final two Omegathon competitors battled each other for a car. Their job? Win at Tetris. But not any old Tetris. They went with the incredibly rare Tengen Tetris. Back and forth they went, until finally somebody won. I love competitions, but hate watching other people play Tetris. Nobody plays it right, constantly making mistakes and putting pieces in the wrong spot. It's just a mess. And these two played like they had never even heard of Tetris. Here I am 7 years later, I'm still disgruntled about the Omegathon. Now that the prizes have been won and the game demos have all been shut off, it's time to leave PAX 2006. We had a good time in the world's smallest dungeon and being scared by the Marsho mech. We met a lot of people, some of which I'm pretty sure are still on my Twitter list. And best of all, we waited around until everybody was gone and played with the beanbag chairs. This was the best PAX, back before it moved to Seattle and became what it is today. It was more personal back then, and we were able to get away with so much more. These are my memories of PAX 2006. I hope you enjoyed this trip back in time and it gets you ready for PAX Prime 2013. And before you leave, make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be giving away an actual prize bag from PAX Prime 2006 on this channel, as well as defunctgames.com and the Defunct Games Twitter feed. Thanks for watching, and make sure you let me know what your favorite convention memory is. See you next time, and stay safe.